Welcome to the Pathways to Profitability podcast, personal tales of business success. Be inspired by the mission of nonprofit organizations, how their work makes a positive impact in their communities and advances change. Here's your host, Cheryl Mucha, CEO of CFO Your Way.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us today as we continue our series highlighting not-for-profits. I am so excited for this conversation with Dina Ferluge with Gracie's Army Foundation, fighting the fight for childhood cancer. Dina, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
So Dina, let's just start real quick. Background on the foundation and the push to get it going.
Sure. My daughter, Gracie, had stage 4 neuroblastoma in August of 2020. When we found out that it was so far along, we immediately had our foot to the gas pedal, getting her to MSK, where she was treated for about 14 months. She received chemotherapy, surgeries, immunotherapy, radiation, and I'm happy to report that she's been in remission for over 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So yes, she's a blessing
Right.
in so many ways, but also a miracle.
Right. Blessing miracle, and also like the impetus for this great cause you're pursuing.
The whole inspiration. So when she was sick, our community rallied around our family and did certain events for us and just showed their support emotionally, fundraising for us. And when she was clear and we were able to do so, we wanted to pay that forward. So
Right.
What we do now as a foundation is help other cancer families with their support that they need, whatever that may look like. And we are able to do certain outreach events within our community and beyond that, because now we've expanded our reach to where we're supporting 7 families, which is such a purpose in our lives now.
Right. And I love that you use the word army.
Yes.
In the name of the foundation, because that's our tribe. That's our army, our support system, right? It's an emotional support, it's a financial support, it's everything that we need in those really hard times in our lives.
And it came really out of, it was a surprise to us, obviously never having gone through something like this.
Right.
And to see,
you never expect it, right?
Never expect it. And even when it happens, you feel like compelled to return the favor, that I need to show you my gratitude, especially during COVID when everybody was so separated and removed. To have everyone come together in such a strong way, it felt like an army.
Right. Yeah. The timing, good, bad for the timing, right? Yeah, it was COVID. We were isolated. But again, that's just another tag on what pushed you to move forward and do this, because everyone came together.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing. And, thank God your daughter is doing great. We at CFO Your Way participated in your 5K in the late, I guess it was late summer, September.
Yep.
It was a great event. We had so much fun. That was your first, I believe.
Yeah. So who knew that we could be a race coordinator, So I'm proud.
The hat you didn't think you were going to have to wear, right?
Never. But certainly it was wildly successful. We have a board of directors that consists of women, which is 10 people strong. And we cultivated this event around our community where everybody, all hands were on deck, and our sponsors like yourself. It was such a great collective, energetic day that it was so successful. We're going to continue to do it year to year in the month of September, which is National Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yes. So that is one of our big months that we focus on in really reaching out in our community to just show everyone what our mission is and what our purpose is. And it's been a year, and we're so proud of where we are today.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see. The event last year was huge for your first
Right.
year. I can't wait to see what it grows into this year. It's going to be so exciting. So tell us a little bit about the families that you support and how they come into your circle.
So, really, when I started this mission, it was at a golf outing for someone that just lost their son to a
Wow.
different pediatric cancer. And another mom was there who also had a child that was in remission. And our conversation was that there was really no organization locally that was doing much about building awareness. A lot of our schools and community do such a great job building awareness around breast cancer. There's always events and fundraising, but there's really nothing for children. So in that conversation, I really had this like aha moment where I wanted to do that. And it was 2 weeks later, I was doing a bake sale at one of our football games in town where I had kids make bracelets and share their designs and sell it to someone. And we were able to raise like over $1,000, which I gave to the family that had lost their son.
Oh,
So
wow.
he was really our first family that we were drawn to. Of course, my own daughter was part of the inspiration, and she was a whole part of this event and is fully aware of what we do and how we do it and wants to be a part of it, which makes it so much of a purpose in our lives.
Yeah, that's beautiful how even, again, the Army, the kids.
And that's what we wanted. We wanted the kids to be a part of the idea of paying it forward, of doing something outside of yourself. And really something that I'm the most proud of in the last year that we've been growing is now the high school has a Gracie's Army Club. So
Oh,
the
wow.
high school kids at their level do their own fundraising, seek out families that need support and create events. And, they make cards for our warriors. They do things that are selfless, which is at that age sometimes hard to.
Oh, it's a life lesson that kids don't get exposed to. And I
Exactly.
love too that, you're local, right? You're super local. You're so entrenched in the community. And it's the kids' peers, it's the kids' peers' families, siblings and whatnot. So it's just so impactful.
It really is. I think even during September this past year, they had a gold out game. And to see the stands filled with people wearing gold and bracelets and talking about the cause, that's really what we're about. So I think we've done our job, but we're just going to continue to expand on that and expand our reach and help more families.
Yeah, and you're only a couple years in, just, what are the possibilities, right?
You never know.
Right, you start with a 5K, you start helping 1, 2, 3 families, what can it become? What's your goal for it to become?
Right. I think that, initially starting out with targeting September as our big fundraising month and then kind of going quiet for the rest of the year. You don't want to exhaust your, pool of donors and things like that.
Right.
You have to be very conscious about these things. But then we had the holidays come around and we wanted to do something for our families that were still in treatment and not feeling great. And what happened is that we found that it was a sort of a second 5K energy. It was our town wanting to do toy drives and contribute what they collected to our collection. And it became this huge drive that we had so much. I can show you photos where we ended up donating to the hospitals, and it was just wildly successful. And that just came so organically. This wasn't planned.
Right. It came organically, but you planted the seed, right? And you rallied the Army.
Yeah.
And it touches home. It hits the heartstrings, and people want to help. People want to support. And I love seeing that in the community because there's so much negativity out there, right? We can spend days talking about that. But to see something like this grow so quickly and just incorporate the entire community, it just warms my heart. I just love it. So kudos to you for
Thank you.
planting that seed and rallying the troops and getting the board together and having the mission.
Yes. And as you know, as long as we stay true to ourselves, I think sky's the limit. We
Oh
can
yeah,
continue to do what we do. I think the beautiful thing about our organization specifically is that as a donor, you see where your donation is going.
right.
It is going right to the families. You are seeing the work that the kids are doing and paying it forward. I mean, that is really the true testament of who we are as an organization.
So how many families now are benefiting from Gracie's Army Foundation and in the support circle?
So right now we have 7 families.
Yeah.
Over the holidays, we did lose one of our
I'm
warriors.
sorry.
He battled for 4.5 years, and it's our support never ends. Even though they unfortunately lost a child, our support for their family never ends. She had a brother who also needs our support right now. And right now, I think that giving them time and space to heal is kind of where we're at. But financially, we will continue to fundraise for them because that's just what we want to do.
Right. And it's not only, again, it's not just the financial support, it's the emotional support. Like
Absolutely.
in every stage, whether it's the child going through treatment, the initial shock of finding out, I'm sure, I can't imagine. Going through the treatment and then the unfortunate loss and then the emotional support that is needed to get through that period.
Right.
You're still there for these families and siblings. I just can't imagine. I'm tearing up.
I
I
know.
can't imagine.
You would be surprised to hear from these families that sometimes even their family members and closest friends sort of go away because
Right.
they don't know what to do.
Right.
So it's important that as sort of the outsider, we can come in and just be sort of this benign support for them because they really do need it. And we understand because I've been through it.
Right.
I know how it feels. So it does bring us closer to the situation.
Yeah, and I think there's like an educational, emotional piece there too for the families and friends, that it's okay not to know what to say. It's okay not to know what to do, but just be there,
That's
be
right.
present, and be a good listener. Like you don't
But
have to speak the words, you just have to hear the words and give the hug or bring the meal or whatever it is. You're not expected to know what to do or how to react or what to say.
yeah, there's no blueprint. There's no, plan that says this is how we grieve. This is how
Right.
we, respond to loss. But in order to continue the feeling that they're not alone, that no one fights alone, you just provide this support that they're not really sometimes even asking for,
Right. Right.
but they need.
Exactly. So is there anything else you wanted to say or share with our audience?
So we're excited for what's to come this year. We actually just got an opportunity with the Long Island Nets. It's a G League basketball team that is out in Long Island. They're going to host Gracie's Army Foundation. We're going to invite our warrior families to meet the players and participate in the game. And so that's going to kind of kick off our year with, certain community events. And now that it's in New York, it's kind of out of our little town of Montville, New Jersey. So we're excited about that. And we're going to hit the ground running with planning for our next 5K coming September 21st. And we will bring on more families to support as well. We have been contacted over the holidays with families who have recently been diagnosed that need our support. So we have a lot of work to do and we're happy to do it.
And I love that you're like the community, the wider community
Yes,
is hearing your message and supporting your message.
absolutely.
I love it. So Dina, thank you so much for being here today. All your contact information will be in the podcast notes. So our audience can reach out to you. Here's your website. Check it out. There's some heartwarming photos on that website. There's the ability to donate. We will support you again this year in the 5K and really look forward to seeing how full that field can get, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much for having me. Such a pleasure to meet you and speak with you.
Same here. And kudos to you for all that you're doing for these children and their families.
Thank you so much.
So Dina, thank you so much for being here. To our audience, please check out Gracie's Army Foundation's website. There's some great information there. If you need support, you want to donate and support the organization, check out the website. Thanks for joining us on Pathways to Profitability podcast, and stay tuned for all our future episodes. Have a wonderful day.
That's it for today's episode of Pathways to Profitability. Remember to ask yourself, where can I pay my success forward today?